So we're going to prepare a 10-fold dilution. I have my inoculum here and I've already labelled my test tubes 10 to the minus 1, 10 to the minus 2, 10 to the minus 3 and 10 to the minus 4. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to vortex my inoculum here just to distribute the cells evenly throughout the sample. So vortex as such. And you'll notice that when I'm vortexing, I'm holding the test tube like this as opposed to that in case it shatters in my hand. Then we're going to transfer 1 ml between each of these samples. So I'm going to use the grey transfer pipette and I'm going to use blue tips. Now when using the grey transfer pipette, there's 2 pipette positions, position number 1 and position number 2. Okay, now again I'm using it in my dominant hand and this is my right hand. So I will put on the appropriate tip, lift my first test tube. Now I'm going to remove the lid of this test tube using my little finger. I take it off as such. I'm going to flame it. Now I'm moving the pipette, putting the pipette inside the test tube and I'm moving it to position number 1. So I'm just about 1 centimetre below the surface. I'm drawing up the sample. By releasing number 1, I'm going to reflame the lid, or reflame the mouth of the test tube, put the lid back on again. Take my next sample, sample 10 to the minus 1. I'm going to remove the test tube lid, flame the neck of the test tube, and now I'm going to release this sample into the test tube by pressing the pipette key. See how I have the tip against the side of the test tube, releasing the sample. So this time I'm going to press the whole way down into position number 2. Remove the pipette from the test tube. Again, flame it. Replace the lid on the test tube. I'm going to discard the tip by pressing that dark grey button. Now I'm going to take this sample and as you can see I'm going to vortex it again, just to get the even distribution. You see now it's slowly moving through the sample. Okay, so we're going to repeat that again for the next set of samples. So as you can see, there's 9 mils of ringers in each of these test tubes, and I'm taking 1 mil and putting it into each of those. So again, using the transfer pipette, I'm changing the tips between every sample. I'm taking my 10 to the minus 1, removing the cap, flaming the mouth, going to position number 1, just below the level, flame it again, close the cap, lift 10 to the minus 2, remove the cap, flame the neck, release the sample in against the wall and go down as far as pipette position number 2. Close, flame, close, discard sample, vortex. Now the same again, so use your open and close your box. Remember to keep the lid of the box closed when not in use. So we're flaming, flame, close, lift my next test tube, open, flame, release right down to position number 2, close, discard our pipette, vortex our sample, and then the last one, flame, flame, close, open, flame, close, flame, get rid of your sample, vortex. And that's your 10-fold serial dilution sample made.